Hey guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to the second episode of Girls Glasses God podcast. Whoop, whoop.
We're not doing that.
I imagine that you say that every time I say who, which will be every episode.
Yes. We're going to stay consistent. Like, let me say it early already. Like, the daily dose of EO for me today is staying consistent. I'm going to be a consistent hater. So, yes.
Haters are gonna hate. Hey.
And potatoes
Haters
are going
gonna
to
hate.
hate.
But we'll see. Welcome, bye guys. We're excited. We hope that you've listened to our very first episode.
If you've not listened to it, please run and go and listen to it now.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So, what are we talking about today?
Coming to America. There's no song like that.
Do you know what? Do you know one thing I've noticed about you?
What?
Ever since you learned how to sing, we've not heard word.
See, that word learned how to sing is what amuses me. You know how the Bible said that a prophet, they don't respect a prophet in his own home. That's exactly my story here.
Ever since Eben learned how to sing,
always
because how have I known you for? I don't know how many years have I known you for.
We
now?
don't sing together
For 11 years now. And suddenly, magically, last year,
your
we
eyes
just started singing. She'll not be doing. I say ha.
People that know
we used
me
to be together.
People that know
we
me
used to be non-singers together. Non-singers, non-dancers.
It was never me and you.
The talent we have is to dance. I don't know where she got singing from, but this is a betrayal.
Oh,
but it's fine.
Your eyes became open.
Yeah, so
I've always known how to sing. It's just that I don't like to brag. What ask of me?
It was not voice transplant. What ask of you for me?
Oh my god!
From
where
who?
I came from, my dear, from the roots of where I came from.
Anyway, we're talking about coming to America. There's a movie called
Coming to America. Yes, now 1 and 2.
I've
The
never watched
OG
that
of all times. You've not seen it?
I swear. I've never watched that movie.
Are you for real?
I'm serious. But I heard part 2 was not good. Though. It was just like...
It was still nice.
Are you serious? I don't know why. I just never watched it.
Please go and watch it
Murphy
though.
now, right?
Yeah. I think there's a 1 and 2.
By the time like I realized that it was like something that people knew about and it's like a cultural experience, I was like, it's too late for me already.
No, it's not late for you. Please go and watch it. It's Coming to America.
I never actually watched that
I think
movie.
it's on Netflix. I think the 2 is on Netflix. I think I saw the 2 on Netflix.
I
Coming to America is an
no
OG.
commitments.
An OG of all time.
Make no commitment.
In fact, we are watching it this night.
you are who?
Me and you. I will like this for you. You widen your eye. No, you have to watch it. But yeah, we're talking about Coming to America.
I don't understand the excitement.
Even me, I don't know.
For 3 years.
Even me, I don't know.
This is no longer like, oh, you just came yesterday, you just landed yesterday. This is like you've been here for 3 years. So let's even hear from you because right now between us, you're the OG here.
But sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Like, do you feel like you've been here for a very long time?
Actually, no.
It doesn't feel that way.
And
you know, my mom says the same thing. Sometimes she's like, we don't even
realize that you've been gone for so long.
Yeah, because we talk a lot. Sometimes video calls. Sometimes they even get tired of me because like we're always talking and stuff like that.
And I think that's like the great thing about technology, right? That's what technology has been able to do. Because sometimes people ask me and they're like, oh, you must be missing your fan. And I'm like, I hear from them every day. Like there's the group chat, like what are you? Not like what are you missing, but like we literally talk all the time.
Physical.
Yeah, and group call, I said group calls, video calls, and all of that. Actually does that. So how did you know you were coming to America, or why? What's the background behind your coming to America?
So I mean, we've been together for so long, and you know that the plan was always to come experience things globally, specifically through education. Yeah. So we wanted to have a postgraduate not in the country, like outside the country. And I know that we've been putting out applications since we left school.
As you just said that, now I remember the one application that I put my blood, sweat, and tears into it. When they picked people, they didn't even tell us that they did not pick us.
Yeah, we put out applications a lot, but at that time we were putting out applications for public health.
Yeah.
We wanted
the
to
real
do
OGs know that
public health.
Public health was.
But anyway, God knows how He does His thing. Because I was so passionate. You remember that interview I went for that they gave me case study? It was now I realized that it was actually case study.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway,
even I was telling you too about one time, like when I was doing that interview for which bank was it again? Self, Union Bank.
That
I
they
thought
gave
that
you
was also a
case.
case.
Yeah. So yeah, I was really passionate about public health. I knew what I wanted to do. In fact, till today, my father still talks about epidemiology and biostatistics because I really loved. I wanted to be on the field, yet to be. I love to be analytical, so I thought that would give me like both things together. Who knows? Maybe sometimes in the future, I feel like I'll still do that.
You will have a very high potential of still doing it. As for me,
you won't do it. Are you serious?
No, not public health. Not public health.
But
that's statistics. I actually like statistics. I don't know why. And I'm like, at a particular point, we are diverting, but at a particular point, I was actually checking like PhD programs in statistics. But when I started seeing what it entailed, I was like,
it's deeper than
what. Well, I think I actually like statistics. But yeah, I don't know anything about like doing PhD in statistics though. But
no, not a PhD. But
maybe I can do it if I want to do another masters. I can do a masters in statistics. But maybe if I now see like how it goes,
you might not do a PhD.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so the plan had always been there. So we did not even take up when our mates immediately after school they're taking up forms. For master's degree. Well, they were like, no, we're getting some experience.
Let's go and get work experience.
Yeah,
let's save up. Yeah, I will not travel abroad.
Yeah, so we kind of already knew. We didn't know exactly how it would happen. I think that was like the trusting process. Yeah. Like we didn't exactly know. Oh, it was going to happen this way and that way. And I tried. I was just talking to my friend today. I tried different things. I knew I wasn't going to Europe. Like I'd always known that. It was going to be North America. So I wrote IELTS. I was talking to my uncle at that time. I don't know if you know. Okay, I wrote IELTS.
You don't know that I should write IELTS. I was like, I beg.
No, but you were going to write it. You were actually interested in writing
because you
IELTS.
Convinced me, but I didn't write it at the end of the day. It was GRE that we wrote.
Well, because the plan now changed. But initially, when I wrote IELTS, you were I know you were asking me like, oh, send stuff. So yeah, I wrote IELTS and things like that. And then I remember, hearing a couple of people, and I'm excited we are starting this too because I feel like somebody will hear our story and be like, okay, maybe this is the step I need. This is that one thing I need to motivate me to do something.
Yeah.
So I remember being on a call and I heard like people talking about how they got their MBA. And meanwhile, at this time we were working and we were not working in public health. We were working in finance and banking and business and consulting and things like that. So it was more towards the MBA route. So I heard people talking about like how they came for their MBA and got like full funding and things like that. I remember that day I was like, God, this is me. And then it was like a confirmation. Another friend of mine sent me that same event. Yeah. I know I've shared this story before. And then I attended and I heard all those things. I was like, okay, this could be me. And I was like, this could actually be me. I took a step, you know.
You didn't even talk about the part where you were in Abuja at that time. You said you attended, is it like one of these fairs that you had?
Oh, yeah.
And then I don't know if it's your family friend that was telling you about it. You said something
about
a calculator or something. There was a particular part of the story that talks about like a calculator or a recorder or something that you were talking to somebody. I don't know if it was your family friend or a pastor. You can't remember that part again. I'll remember it. That you were like, that was like a second confirmation or like a first confirmation because you were telling the person about MBA and the person was like, okay. He now gave you something that was like related to the MBA. You can't remember again.
I can't remember.
Don't worry, go on.
But I know that I got like a couple of that was not coincidence. Like I knew that it wasn't coincidence. So after that, I decided to keep. Again, it's just all you need to do is just take one step. Yeah. All God needs you to do, just take one step. It was just one step I took, and then it led to another. I talked to Anu of Cheta. Shout out to you. And then we started the process of reviewing essays, applications. I put up my application second round. I wrote my GRE in December. Oh, so funny.
December 18, 2020.
Oh, you remember the day? We have a picture.
That was also NSAS. Yeah, that was also the day of NSAS. So everything was like, you need to do this and you need to do this now.
So yeah, we wrote Jerry together, and then I was like on, and I think I have that gift of if I want to do something, like as long as God has given me the go ahead, man, I'm doing it. Like
that year it was looking like film trick.
Yeah,
it was looking like film trick because you got your admission in March and you traveled in July.
Yeah, I submitted in January. I did my interview in February, and I got my admission in, was it March or April?
March, April.
I think it was April. because the first one was UGA, came in April. Then I had other ones that came in later. But I remember my sister it was early in the morning when I got that mail. My sister was sleeping beside me. And then I saw the mail. I was like, stand up. I'm like, oh my God, I just got my first acceptance into school. Like, the thing is, I didn't really tell a lot of people. I had mentioned it to my parents, but I didn't give them like the whole details of what I had to do. So they were just like, just do your thing, you know. And I didn't tell a lot of people again, because again, it's very essential to keep your circle tighter. Like, you don't want the influence of,
can you really do this thing?
Honestly, I know that there are people that if I told at that time, they'll be like, how is it possible?
Do you know the funny thing is, sorry to cut you short, I remember that there was a time that and this person, catch your sob now, because I've never told the person before, but I remember I was telling them that I wanted to go back to school, like masters, maybe do it outside the country and whatever. Catch your sob again. And I think you know why yours was doing. I was still going after public health when Eben was doing when Eben was running an MBA. I was still running MPH, and even though mine clicked, I didn't get like what I wanted. I didn't get funding. I didn't get all of that. So it didn't make, and it was so stressful because if you remember, there was even a part when I'm telling my story, I'll mention it, but it was just so stressful, and that's why you know that when God is not with you in something, like you will just be finding obstacles, but when he's actually with you, it's easier. And I remember like I had to like stay back, and everyone was going, I was staying back, and this person said something, was like, that is not you that was saying, by this time next year you will not be like
it took you to your bone marrow.
I was like, whoa. It's because I told you that I fuck up, because it didn't pain me. I feel
like sometimes people are just expecting you to fail in code so that they can tell you I told you so. So most times when I'm making like, a very big decision, I keep my circles very close.
Person was like, it's not the two of us that are here now. I think he got my life outside. So yeah, go on.
Yeah. So when it all happened, I can remember I had a video call a voice call. I was in Abuja with Kemi and Paul. We spoke at length, talked about a whole lot of things. So when it happened, like when I got the admission, I knew that I was leaving. And then I had work and I was doing well at work. That's a funny thing. Like literally that was my year. That was the year I was shining.
It was a superstar. I'm
not even going to lie. Like I told you, okay, I've told you about some calls and different things that I got at that time. When I told my counselor, she was like, are you sure you want to leave at this time? Like, are you sure? And at that point I'm like, should I defy it? Because I felt like, maybe let me make it. But I was like, I beg. I knew that if I didn't leave at that time, I would be too enticed by whatever happens after. And then I'm like, let me just not do it anymore. So I was just like, okay. And then it became surreal. Like I went for my visa interview. Visa interview was smooth. That's another thing. I think we'll get there.
What was your visa interview experience like? Actually,
you can't remember.
I don't know if I remember what it was like again.
Oh my God. So okay, well, I didn't stop working until I got my visa because
yeah, you don't stop working until you get your visa.
So when I went,
until you get it in hand, until you get your passport back.
As in. So when I went for the interview, you know how it is now. You see that very long
snake-like
circle line gate. So when we got inside, from the door, I was hearing, sorry, Pam, you will not be approved. So that thing is crazy psychological. Like you see people that are getting rejected like this. The person in front of me were already talking. Both of us were silent. There was one man, I marked his face. I said, God forbid I go to that man. I was like, where's I going? I was hearing. I just kept telling myself, God has not given you the spirit of fear. God has not given you the spirit of fear. Because if you go there and you act afraid, like you don't know what you're doing, I'll just get there. When we now go to the front, it can't remain the man as the next person. I just moved back small. The person was not like, oh, like there was one somebody come. They said, go. I just quickly went to. The person was not done. No, I stayed. The girl in front of me was one that went to that man. Whether she got it, whether she's okay. As soon as I got my own, like they say, hey, Father Lord, thank you. I said, we waited for the girl, but because we clicked, right? She was coming for like something fancy, like a. I remember like she was coming for like a video production or an art school or something like that. From like SCAD. I don't know if they gave her. I'll be so happy if they give actually. But
maybe you can reconnect with her through this podcast if you hear this.
As in, that's if she remembers me. Because it was like just like few hours of conversation.
Remember you by the special grace of God.
Okay. Amen.
What if you're like a billionaire now or something?
I've heard you. I'm a billionaire in the name of Jesus. Anyway, so like when we got there, so I just, and they already told me, be bold. I just got there, and the person was like, oh, the person asked me, I said, oh, you have a full funding for an MBA. Look like, nice. Why do you think you have a full funding? I said, well, I had a very good GRE score, and I did a very great interview. I believe that those are some of the factors. Like, oh, nice. You're going to UGA. Oh, wow. And they just asked me one very silly question. And then I just answered. It was like, okay, cool. You will receive your passport. It's just like, you see, hey, God. You know how, I think I was just going to say, I kept my phone. You know how they won't allow you to take anything. I kept my phone with those guys who were they were literally outside.
You did your interview in Lagos, right? Okay.
So there's a place that you can keep your. I even gave them tip. I can't remember how much they asked for, but how much they asked for, I gave them extra.
Like, okay, keep
but
this phone.
I was keeping cool, because those people too. Lagos people, they will extort you. I was just, acting my cool. They were like, oh, congrats. I was like, oh, thank you. When I go say, hey. I got my visa.
My own interview experience, I actually pranked. I pranked my brother and my sister. So when I went for the interview, it was Toby and my brother that followed me. And I think after I did the whole thing, like my own experience was very similar to your own. When I got to like the guy that I was talking to, he was like, all he said was just like, I think it was just that surprise of you got a fully funded MBA. And he was like, he had like this shocked look on his face, like, and he was looking down like, and I was just smiling like, yeah. And he was like, he didn't even ask me any other thing again. He was already reaching for the white paper. So there's like the white paper and the blue paper that means rejection. The white means you can come back for your passport. He was already reaching for the white paper. Then I think he now clicked that maybe he has not asked me anything. Before he not giving it to me, I was like, do you know why they give, like, that kind of shock? Like, do you know why they give it? I just answered my already performed, like, oh, I think the strength of my experience, blah, blah, blah. And like, I had, and he just gave it to me. So you know what I did was that I had one old passport. So I kept it with me. So I already told them that if I'm coming back, I won't come back with my passport. So apparently they didn't allow them wait around the embassy. Yeah. So my brother was sitting down close to those guys. So my sister was one that was just hanging around, like moving and everything. So the minute I came out, she already saw me. I don't even think I was with my phone. So because they were with my phone, they kept it with me. So she already saw me. So I already planned it in my head that I would So I came to meet her. She was like, how far? Toby is very, she was like, how far? I just showed her my passport. She was like, what does this mean? Have you got it? And I said, I didn't get it. She was like, So when I said I was meeting her too much, and I told her that I got it, and I said that, but I'm going to prank Diko and everything. So by the time, and my brother used to do cool and calm. By the time we got there, and I showed him my passport, it wasn't like, what does this mean? Everything. I wasn't like, I shook my head. I was like, I didn't get it. It wasn't like, so my brother, he now put his hand on my shoulder. He was not like tapping me like, don't worry.
It is well.
It is well. And I said, can you open the passport? And I was like, oh my Lord, this is not. So yeah, it was a really good one. It was a really good one.
I can still remember how I felt.
Yeah.
After.
I think it was very, I don't even know. I think when I got my visa, I don't want to say I was more excited than when I got my admission. Not that I was not excited, but I feel like that day of admission, I think UGA was the first school I was going to receive their decision for. And I think it was December 1st, I remember, because I took a COVID test. I was supposed to resume that day, but I was feeling sick because I took like the second shot for COVID or whatever. And they said they were going to release the decision December 1st. And because of the time difference, I didn't even realize that they were going to release it maybe in the night. So I was waiting. I was like, that when you keep on refreshing your mail, like you keep on refreshing. They didn't release this thing until, I think it was until 12 midnight or after that. Next thing I just saw, congratulations. And everybody was sleeping already. Not knowing that my dad was awake in Ado.
Okay.
So by the time I woke up, so it was even Toby. Toby came again to meet me and she was like, no, Rafa. And I was like, okay, just like, you've gotten it. Why are you not excited? I was like, so I was like, I'm excited. So we now called my parents. So I think she was just like, let's just call and see if they're awake. The minute I called like this, my dad was already awake. Like, he just, I was like, oh, I'm not, how now? I said, Daddy, I've gotten my admission. He's like, I've been praying for you. I know you get it. So yeah.
No, that felt really good. That felt really, really good. That felt really good.
And I think another thing was just like the timing of it. I think for my own, you did your second round, mine first round. I think I'd already planned because mine was like a year after your own, right? So like I was mentioning, I I applied for MPH, but it was just like a very stressful process. I was paying a lot of money. It just did not work out. And I think the next year after that, I think I was like relying on the experience that you had and all the things that you said, oh, make sure you apply first round, make sure you do this, make sure you do this. So because I already knew that my decision was coming in December. So the next year for me was just like a year of planning. I knew I was resuming in August. So it was like, oh, this is my year to like plan towards the next part of what
you had more time.
Yeah. So yours was like more.
I didn't have more time. The day I was traveling, the day before the day I was traveling was the day I dropped my laptop. I remember Prince Will. Shout out to Prince Will. Prince is the OG. If Prince Will ever listens to the podcast, you will know why I said so. Prince Will dropped my laptop for me, dropped everything for me. As Prince Will said, we met at one restaurant like that on the island that day. He was like, you're living like this, because it was literally the two of us on most of the projects.
Yeah.
It's like, you're living. But yeah, he's an OG. He tried for me. So yeah, mine was, I didn't have time. I packed the day that we're leaving. I was still packing.
The day you were leaving, we still went to one pharmacy to buy things.
Yes, I remember.
We still went to one pharmacy to buy things.
But that's part of my.
That was the day your parents came
yeah,
now.
They came. Yeah, my parents came. Yeah, that felt good. That the whole process was really worth it. And I remember when I think we had a call that in the evening when it became apparent that you weren't going for your MPH. Do you remember that call? You were like, but I think it's. I'm happy that mine came through because you were very motivated.
Yes.
I remember it was on that call. I was like, okay, call Anu. Like, let's start. Like, okay, you've done MPH. It didn't work. Let's try MBA. Yeah. You've seen how mine did. You did da.
And I think even at that point, I think God actually used you for me because I was frustrated with my job already. Like, I was frustrated with not the
with
job,
how things
were going. Yeah. And it was not like, oh, this was like my plan to escape. And that's why sometimes it did not work out. So it was not looking like everything was like against me. So, I think I was actually getting depressed at that point. But you were like, are you just going to be like, there was something you said, you're like, are you just going to be like wallowing in your sadness? Or are you going to pick up again and like move? Like, there's no time to waste. And I think that was like a motivation. And if you remember, I think when you were even going, like when you were in the airport and you were leaving, there was one.
I remember.
You're like, you left some clothes.
Yeah. And I said, you bring it for me when you're coming.
And I did.
Aww.
And Ebon used a lot of my space in my box.
Oh.
Yes, because I packed more. I packed a lot of your things.
All the clothes that not size me. Please.
This is why people are not grateful. This is why ungratefulness is not a good thing. Because I used half of my luggage for you from Nigeria here.
Anyway, that listens to you now, we think that you brought the whole world for me.
Beautiful set of clothes. Nice clothes.
You know, size
me. Stretch.
You know,
Fine clothes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one phase in our lives it was one great, and I thank God for friends actually. Thank God for friends. I remember, when you're living like that, there are so many emotions that run through you. You're living
how did you tell people goodbye?
Yeah. You're living I didn't tell a lot of people, until like well after. Story for another day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I remember.
I wouldn't say why because
I remember.
But I told my people, and gosh, leaving what you already had, I was excited, but I was also like, I know that I'm going to a place where I'm not the majority anymore. You are now the minority. I did not have any family member here. I don't even have any family member here. I did not have anybody. I had a family friend. Oganare was here, was at UJ, which was really good. But it wasn't like a place that you're very familiar with. So a lot of emotions was running through me. Then I know Jessica and Sheo. Shout out to Sheo. Sheo came to my apartment with Jessica. Sheo gave me a gift, my first white sneakers.
Sheo and Jessica came was it like the night before?
The Sunday
before. I remember.
Yeah, then Jessica came out and helped me pack my load. That load said we pack them for airports, but it no matter. But yeah, she packed it really nicely. I called Tunchi. Tunchi was like there all through. Anyway, she was already in the UK. So she was, all going, like we were literally having conversations all through everything that was happening. So obviously she was no more in Nigeria. So there was no need to say, we already said our goodbyes. Then I called Tunrayo. Shout out to Tunrayo. I have good friends. So I remember Tunrayo messaged me and she was like, I'm so happy. Like Tunrayo is that one person that's always waiting for me. Like, she's that OG that is always like, when I have a good news to share, like she's always there. She was like, if I don't really have money to give you, but there's one box that my mom gave me a while ago.
I'm not the one that sends the box.
Yeah, she sent me
it's a set now. It was a set
of box. Yeah, she sent me a set of box, and then I remember when I brought the box home, my mom was like, how much did you buy this box? I said, no, but my friend gave me, your friend gave you this box. Like, it wasn't it was like a really nice set of box. I really appreciated that. Then I saw Turaya and Kemi together in Bodija. I came to Nigeria myself. Yeah,
did we not go to Ibadan?
Ibadan, yeah, we went to Ibadan.
That's when I saw Turaya.
Yeah,
we went to this restaurant. I can't remember the name, Bodini or something.
Was it Bodija? Somewhere
it's
around that
place.
The
name was Bo something.
That they had one cultural thing, but it wasn't really all that.
Well, I like their nan though.
I can't even remember what it tasted like, but I know myself, Kemi and Paul went out. I think we called it like the living. I can't remember what we called it. Like, it was before we both went to Ibadan, so we went out, and then I broke the news to there, and then everywhere just felt quiet. Oh my god! I remember that day because we took a picture. Like always, we always take a picture of this thing
to commemorate.
Hey, Kemi was like, "Oh my god, if you are leaving me." Kiniko. I'm like, no, it's just for a short period of time. Then, as in, everywhere was just, that day was just very silent, because these are people that I literally grew up with. Like, these are people that December, like, this, all of us are coordinated. Wherever you are coming home and things like that. Although Paul later traveled, so now all of us did there. But at that point, it was like, and then who else? I think that's it. My siblings. I feel like my family members are.
They knew like already.
Yeah, they already knew. So there was no need saying goodbye. I can't remember if I know I must have told some other people too, but like as time went on, I kept telling people, along the way. I told some of my church pastors and things like that. But yeah, it wasn't like I didn't have like a whole. Because there was actually a very valid reason anyway that I had to keep it that way.
You also had a very short time.
And I had a very short time. Like, if you could have seen me at work on Friday, and I'm at the airport on Monday. Saturday. So how did you say your own goodbyes?
Well, I had a lot of time. Because I already knew ahead of time and everything. So I knew right from December the year before that I was traveling and all of that. But I think what I did majorly was that, just like what we're talking about, I didn't tell a lot of people even while I was doing the process, because it's like once bitten, twice shy. I already told someone, and the person laughed at me already that nobody all of us day here now. So I was really, really careful about like who I was telling. I was being really careful about saying a lot of things. And it's at times like this that strange things also start happening. Funny thing is that I think I told you now. I think the week before, I think I was going to resign. Was it the week before I was resigning? My very last week at work, I entered a one chance vehicle. There were like 3 different things that happened to me that same week. Maybe on Monday, I entered one chance vehicle. The next day, money was missing. Third day, there was one, as I was dropping out of bus, there was one fight that was happening. They were using bottle to choke people. And I'm like, I'm not going to say but like, and at that time, a lot of things were coming out like, oh, you need to be careful how you move. You need to be this, you need to be that. So, at that point, then, I think at that stage in my life, I was thinking, when you hear people are traveling, don't tell anybody. I'm like, I beg you. Like, all these things are superstitions and the rest. And sometimes, yes, but at that time, I was like, no. How can you tell me? And I think it was right as I was about to go for my visa interview. So even though I had a full funding, I was still like, let me just put money in my account. So that in case they ask about bank statements and everything. Yeah. So I had like quite a huge amount of money in my account. That was the same week I entered one chance vehicle. Like, what were the chances, right? So I was really restricted to the number of people that I told. And I remember that even the people that knew about it, it was like, oh, I planned my resignation, so we're supposed to resume in August. I knew that I wanted 1 month to relax because I was not just going to enter. I was not going to be like Ebum, because I was literally learning from like what happened to her, and I knew I needed to like relax myself and like just chill 1 month before I started like going into like America and everything. So I decided that I was going to resign in June. So I think for my job, I had to give 1 month notice. So I resigned in May. So I was already like, oh, in April, I'll go for visa interview. In this. Well, things happen how things happen. But I think in May, I got my visa in May. And when I got it and I got like the physical copy in hand, I put in my resignation like that same minute. I put in my 1 month resignation. So I resigned in June. I had like from June, like the whole of July. To like chill out and everything. So I traveled to Ado. I came back to Lagos. I met with some people. I think the last set of people I met before I traveled was Tiana and Omo. So we even had some pictures. Tiana even sent me those pictures again recently. And they were really nice. Like we went out, we had fun. It was really good. And I think the week before that, Lebechi came for something. I can't remember what she came for.
I remember.
But she was around for, I think it was Chichi's wedding.
Oh, okay.
So I think something happened and Lebechi, we all went to Tiana's place house, at the end of the day. So it was me, Tiana, Omo, Lebechi. So I saw quite a number of people before I left. I was even supposed to see Debo, but I think our schedules just never matched somehow. So yeah, I told people that I could tell, and I think it was even while Ogochukwu called me randomly one day and she was telling me, oh, something, and I'm like, oh, as you're telling me this thing, I'm telling you right now that this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just I had more time to like plan out who did I want to see, spend time with family and all of that, and just like do my movements left and right and all of that. But I feel like sometimes too you always feel like there's still not enough time. You always feel like there's still not enough time, because as I was coming, I think the last week before I traveled, I came back to Lagos. My family was going to come maybe 3 days or so before I was supposed to travel. And it was like, I was still getting stuff, but it's like, oh, I need to get this. I need to get this. I need to get this. And
there's
like,
always something
there's
to
always
get
something more to
minute.
get. Even the day before I left, or I think it was the day I was supposed to leave, or the day before. Because at that point, my father was like, you're not going anywhere again. Like, my father was literally like watching me. Like, if I'm saying I want to go and buy something, he's like, where are you going to again? So there were even some clothes I needed to adjust. He was just looking at me. When they're giving you side eye and everything. Then remember, you had something that was supposed to come to me from Ibadan.
That didn't get there on time. Yeah, I remember.
I think it was Omo that had to like get it
shout
for
out
you.
to Omi. She tried for me on that clothes.
Omo came to the airport. Omo was working in the airport. Yeah. Tiana came to meet me in the airport. We took some pictures. Omo arranged my bag for me in the airport. Yeah. So Omo arranged my bag for me in the airport. Omo. Shout out to you. So,
you need the help. You need the help. Let's talk about the airport experience.
The what experience?
The airport experience. Do you remember I literally carried Ghana Must Go as my hand luggage? Do you remember?
I still have a video of you.
Oh my God. Nigerian airport. Hey, Father Lord. That day, let me tell you one skill. Maybe you have also fallen prey to this. Do you remember that there was one guy that came to meet us and he was like, hey, let me help you. Can you come? That guy would wait for us and then he'll put his leg.
He stepped on it.
Literally use his leg to shock that.
There were two guys.
It was the other guy that told me about.
There were two guys.
Yeah, the other guy told me about that trick. And then and I was like, that guy was like, let me go and get this for you. Let me go and get that for you. When he now left, we now reweighed it. The thing dropped significantly. Lagos, if you are not smart,
they will use you.
Hey!
They will use your head. That guy, I think that guy was God sent, because he was the one that was like, sister. He was cutting us eye. Yeah. And he was like, sister. When the guy now left, he was like, we wait.
Yeah.
We wait. That was when we now caught the scope that the guy stepped on it and everything. Nah.
But we still had to rearrange though. Even with all that, I had to. So I realized that the bag I carried was actually
heavy.
weighing. Yeah. I think that was a mistake I made from the get-go. Like I should have carried, like weigh your box separately, literally, before you travel.
And travel with light boxes. Like don't travel with all these boxes that already carry weight with a lot of iron and everything.
Maybe like cloth
bags,
and stuff like that. Or very light plastic. So yeah, we rearranged though. I put on my load like Ghana Must Go. And then I carry Ghana Must Go all the way from Nigeria to America as my hand luggage. Even the person from Ghana, because I saw one guy working, even that one who carry Ghana Must Go. Now me carry Ghana Must Go. But you know how you watch videos and, maybe they are saying goodbye. I watched one yesterday where it was a relocation vlog and then, their parents were crying like people. Nobody cried. I don't understand this, my family members.
I cried.
You cried
I was like, oh my God.
My parents are the funniest. They were just like, oh, bye. I'm like, people will not cry. I don't see tears in your eyes.
So my father was telling me, be careful. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. I think Nigerian, let me not say Nigerian parents, but like
I know people cry.
Our breeds of Nigerian parents.
Those ones they just don't cry. They never send me. Wait, they just say bye. That's okay. When that's the they return to you, but I'm like, you will not cry.
Yeah, it's true. They tried
Your
that same
precious,
day.
your precious daughter is leaving you, and you don't know when next you see her. They shall left. But you were very emotional though.
I was.
You were very emotional. Like you not even say a lot of things. You're just like,
oh my god. I was calm then. I can't even remember.
But my parents, I don't understand though. You know how, anyway, we'll see. Next time they see me, I'll tell them, please plan coming home party
plan
for me.
your tears. They'll be like, oh, my daughter is back.
I don't even think those ones. But yeah, but it was still like, I was still like, oh, I'm leaving these people. But we moved, bro.
I think what would have even followed me? I think it was my mom, my dad, mom, Toby followed me.
Tiana and mommy.
And Tiana came later. Omo was already in the airport and everything. So we stayed for a while because we got there pretty early. My flight was by 7, if I'm not mistaken. We're there from like 1 o'clock or so. So we still they still hung like they hung around, like they waited for me, like they waited. But and because I could not, like, once you enter, there was something that happened. I think I could not. There was things that changed by the time I was going. So I think there was something that happened that I could not go out and come in again. So when Tiana was around, because yeah. So if I came out, you won't be able to come inside without me or something. So even when I was entering, they didn't want to allow us enter. So we had to, like,
you paid only to one person. Now.
Yeah.
You can't remember that we gave that guy money. Yeah.
So they said only one person should follow me inside. So I'm even glad that my dad was around, because at that point I think I didn't have any naira again. I was like, I had spent all my money on, like, I had spent down to my last 1 kobo. So as we entered, my daddy was just the one just doing like this, doing like this, because everywhere we went
money
to
for you for everything.
To check my food stuff, they were like, oh, something. My daddy just said, madam, can you come? I said, daddy.
Oh, but I think that guy actually tried for me, because we didn't go through food stuff for my own.
We went through. They even had like a separate place. So the minute you are coming and they scan it, they'll tell you to go there straight.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they tell you to go there
because
straight.
I know that guy was like, you can avoid. It was like, he was telling me that you can avoid this place if you pay this kind of amount of money.
So by the time like I was leaving, then, I don't know if you remember how the airport was that time. They had separated in such a way that where they are dropping you, then itself, we had to pay for like the thing that you used to push, like those trolleys and the rest. Yeah. So this one, you will have to go there, collect a ticket. I think it was 500 naira. You collect it immediately. So that one, they had already like streamlined some processes. So some things were like hard to like avoid and all of that. So it was, my dad is this kind of person that he can joke and he can come anywhere and start making people laugh. So the minute she was just doing kinika. My dad just started talking to her. Hey, daddy. I'm like, oh, they've got to you. So it was one that really like moved every single place. Every single place. And I think even when you now pass that whole walkway that UBA did, like they're saying au revoir and the rest, when you now get inside, you will feel one form. That's why I went to go and feel banker there. Lady was like, banker. I say banker. I say, what will you give us now?
Some.
I said I don't have naira. She's like, I know now. You cannot be living. I said, what am I still doing with naira? I said, I don't have anything again.
I still have 1,000 naira, Sha. I left because I was like, anything. I remember the one lady was checking my back this thing and saw banana bread. And she wanted to take. I say, from where now? These guys.
Oh God, no. The thing that pained me the most during my travel experience, I carried water. They now said I should throw it away.
You can't take water inside
and
now.
I said, okay, no problem. I threw that water away, even though I was angry and pained. And I went inside and I bought water again. And I bought 2.
Just so you can't carry it again.
Just so I cannot carry it again.
You hide it now. You won't let them see it.
They searched my bag again.
Are you very?
They searched my bag again, yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right before we entered the plane, they searched my bag again. And I remember one very funny scenario. I'm sure my parents were laughing at me. Right? You know that place that you sit down, you wait before you like board the plane and whatever. My stomach started paining me. My stomach was just turning me.
Are you serious?
So they're not calling like, they've gotten home. How am I okay? I was like, my stomach is paining me. I was not hearing my daddy advice say, hey, she's
what?
Like maybe like what's the English word now? Like,
is it the excitement or what?
It's not even excitement. Like, is it no anticipation?
Are you anxious?
Something like that. I'm anxious.
Or nervous?
Yeah. She was like, so it's just like saying, no, don't worry, there's nothing wrong with you. My daddy was at the background. Maybe he didn't know that I could hear. I was like, she's anxious. So I was like, I don't know. My stomach is paining me.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
But we are here now, Sha.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just good to look back and reflect on how far you've come and see where you are now. But it's been good. It's been good.
So landing in America, the process of like adjusting to the different things. But what were your first impressions when you came to America? Like, what did you think?
I can't remember what I thought.
I remember what I thought. I was
That
like,
is this the America? I remember you said it.
Because it was not looking like America to me, because like the
concept,
like the concept that you see in the movies and everything. I'm like, I'm like, Ebu, is this the America? Like, what's going on here?
I can't remember what I thought too, because that time I was just like, oh, let's get started. I was coming from work, I was exhausted.
Wait, how was when you landed? Because I remember that you went to Athens Street now.
I used Groom.
Okay. Because I remember you were saying that you had the wrong entrance.
Yeah, I had to take. Yeah, it was very stressful. You were enjoying.
I was chilling. I have not still entered Groom. 2 years now. I
carried all my load over my head. It was very stressful. Ogalari came to pick me at this, and I stayed at his house. Shout out to him. He and his wife, they accommodated me for like a number of days, because the hotel that we booked, myself and Hosanna, we booked one. I don't know if Airbnb or Bimuta, what is they call them? We got there that day, and they said that we didn't come at the check-in time. So they cancelled that reservation.
That's so ballsy of them. Honestly.
In my head, I'm like, wait, because so if I don't have anybody here, are you saying I'm sleeping on the street? Like, we literally had to turn back, and then I stayed at this house for a while and booked another hotel.
How does that even make sense that they cancel your reservation when you don't check in?
They did.
If you think about it, like with your knowledge of the US right now, are they actually supposed to cancel your reservation when you don't check in? Because you booked for a number of days, and you guys put in your credit card information.
Did we?
Did you?
I don't think so, because we didn't have credit. We didn't have credit card at that time. It was
like
supposed to be
information. Pay when you come.
Because they didn't charge us. It was supposed to be payment on arrival.
Okay, maybe that's why.
So, but even though like I still came that day, and it was just me because I came first. I arrived in Athens first, and then they now said, this thing is fully booked. Somebody else came, and that was it. And then it was the next day that we now went to
going to do a review on Google.
That
was not what you were thinking about that time.
I was so tired. Yeah. I was just like, let me just be somewhere and have some good rest. Like, but I mean, it's been a great one. Let's talk about like, how about adjusting to non-Nigerians, like when you go here?
If you are adjusting to non-Nigerians, you have to slow down your speech because they honestly will not hear, like they won't hear what you're saying, because it's still the same English, but I think we have a faster pace. We speak at a faster pace,
and we speak differently.
Yeah, apart from the way we pronounce some words. You know, there was something I think it was you I was telling. How do you pronounce INDICATIVE?
Indication.
TIVE.
Indicative
is indicative.
Okay. I remember.
And I'm like,
that. Indicative.
Nigerians is indicative. This is indicative of a Nigerian problem. But yeah, you're supposed to say is indicative. So it makes sense when they don't understand you, because you know it as this is indicative. So when you're talking in class and you're saying, I think this is indicative, you're like, this is indicative.
Like, what do you mean? Yeah.
You're like,
and it's very funny because the difference between indicative and indicative
is the stress, is where you're stressing,
and your mind, you're supposed to at least have an idea what I'm talking about, but these guys have no clue.
They will never have.
Wow.
Like they never think about it and think, can this be something else? It just reminds me of the day that we're talking in class and Toby mentioned parastatals. At that point, I started questioning everything I knew. And I was like, is it possible that this is a Nigerian made-up word?
Yeah.
Like, because everybody was like, parastatals?
What does that mean?
What is that? Like, parastatals? Bro?
Yeah.
I had to quickly go on Google and say, parastatals. Like, is it really a word? And they were like,
it is a word.
It is a word, but apparently it's like a word that is used majorly in West Africa.
Oh, really?
So I was like, okay, it makes sense that they don't actually know the word. But like sometimes it will make you question whether the English you're speaking is actually right.
No, it is. I feel like Americans have their way of doing things. So there are some things that is available in Europe and the rest of the world that Americans just did not adopt.
They're like, I'm going to do things like this. That's why they're using miles. That's why they're using like Fahrenheit.
They use their own thing.
That's why they're using like every other thing that the world is not using. That's what they are using.
So I think the major one of the thing that a lot of people battle with when they get here, immigrants, is how to fit themselves into that culture of being seen, being heard, being understood.
Yeah,
it's a lot of things actually.
And I think another thing that you come to realize very quickly about being in America and like living in their culture is the fact that you have to blow your own horn. Like you have to speak for yourself. Like you have to like blow your trumpet, like blow it very real, because in the Nigerian culture is for you to be like humble, for you to be like, oh, they should see me do the work, they should see me do like different things, but
you have to talk about yourself. Nice. You say, oh, can we meet you? These days when you say, oh, can we meet you that you see in Nigeria, not the same that you see here. Even the CV, everyone your CV put hometown, Ibadan.
Hobbies, dancing, reading book.
No. But I mean, things have changed. I love the fact that we are here to gain perspective of what they do in other parts of the world, because obviously if you don't leave your village, you think that your father's house is the biggest. When you get here, you get some other perspective, and that's why I'm happy. Again, I feel like people should at least have some experience different from what they have always been used to. And it's been great. It's been great, really. It's been great all along.
And I think one thing again that their system actually works, that does for them, and I think that's like the quality of having like a good country and having like a good solid passport. Because even when you're going for like, sometimes when you go to like Tates, like that's where like the student center is, and you're seeing a lot of study away programs. Like imagine having the opportunity to experience other cultures, other like education types. You have like study away programs, you have like exchange programs, things like that. So there's no how you're not going to be all rounded. There's no how you're not going to be like a well-rounded person, both like culturally, individually, intellectually, and everything. So there's really a lot that you can learn, or there's really a lot to gain from like being here and experiencing something different. And I think just generally your outlook on life will change. I agree. Outlook on like your career, job, education.
You see things differently. You see things from a broader perspective, more like it. You see different opportunities in one thing. But unfortunately, not everybody here makes use of that. Like not all Americans make it. Some people have never left their hometown. Some people have never left America. Some people have no clue what is happening in other parts of the world.
And I think that's just the funniest thing to me, because I don't know if it's because, okay, it's like if we're doing like parallels between like Nigeria and the US, I know there's something that we say about how no matter what state you go to in the US, almost everywhere is developed. Like if you think about like Nigeria, you say Lagos now, everybody wants to come to Lagos because like that's where things are happening. If you talk about Oyo State, apart from Ibadan, where else is anything really happening? If you think about Benin, Edo State, where else apart from Benin is anything really happening? But here, like Georgia now, there's Atlanta, there's Alpharetta, there's Athens, there's Lawrenceville, there's Gwinnett. Like there are a lot of cities that a lot of things are happening right there. So sometimes too, it's not far-fetched to think that they won't want to move out of their town. But then again, I'm like, you have a lot going for you. Why would you like be born and raised in a particular place, and you are born, raised, and you died here? Like without
people
stepping,
are just comfortable, I guess.
Like no, I'm not even saying you have to like maybe live somewhere else, but like you literally do not even make any efforts to like see somewhere else.
I mean, I feel like some people just have things working for them where they are, and they're like, what's the point?
Seeing something else, like,
so it's not everybody that wants to. That's just how life is, and that's why they've developed certain idea of what they've been taught about other places, not necessarily what they've experienced. For instance, people can be asking you very stupid questions. Maybe we'll talk about this in the next episode. About like your English is so good.
Oh my god, I'm like, so
oh, you guys have internet. Oh, you guys, what's this thing? Like there was one thing that he told me. You guys watch you guys have SpongeBob. It's because like what they've seen. What they've been, I don't know what they teach them here about Africa,
it's literally the same thing you were saying about you being, if you've not left your father's house, you think that you're a king. Like you're literally so like how can you say what?
Yeah, maybe they feel God, I pity people who came here at a very early age and experienced the African booty scratcher thingy going on. They faced a lot of bullying because they said their food smell, like things like that. They've fed these small kids like terrible things about Africa.
I just remembered something like somebody in our church, and he was saying that when they first got here, that they went like shopping for the children and like they bought shoes and everything, and they will buy things based on like, oh, they think this thing is fine and all that. And they now said that when they when she went to school, I don't know which of the daughters, but when she went to school, she came back home and she was crying that they were saying her shoe is like maybe like old school shoe or something. And they were looking at it that this shoe is fine and everything, but immediately like they had to go and say, okay, which one do you think is like, which one do you want and everything. Like those are the kind of things that you face. So I imagine that people that come here when they're pretty much younger than us, because we already have like our identities. We already have like, we've walked, we've grown, like who can really bully you at this age? Like, except you're just somebody that has maybe a low self-esteem or something. No,
but that does not cancel out imposter syndrome, though.
No, sure, for sure. But I'm like, at this point in time, who is going to tell you that you are not dressing well and you will now be like maybe crying about or something? Like you're going to like either own it or you're going to like.
They will even really tell you that you're not dressing well.
Like people are not really going to like bully you. Because I think that thing you said is very true, because people like. You can wear all sorts and nobody cares. Like nobody cares. Like you can literally be summer and you're wearing like a winter jacket. And
that's your business. Like, it's a free world.
Yeah, so
literally. But it's tough out there for some people, right? You have to, tell yourself different things to make sure that, I am what I am.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah.
But,
no, it happens because I remember the very first time, class 9, even like the way of teaching here is very, very different. And I remember that one, I think it was our marketing class or something, and he put up a picture and he was like, who can identify this picture? And it was Venus. I knew, but I just did not say it. And people were saying different things, and I just kept quiet. Then when it was not like Venus, I was like, I knew it was Venus. I was not like, why didn't I say anything? So, you have that thing of, when people are talking, they're like, Charles. Then you not be like, Omolor, right? So, that whole, your old diction and everything, it can really like make you seem. Yeah. So, but
your accent, you say your accent is different.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that in the next episode. But anyway.
This has been us.
This has been great.
Coming to America.
Yeah. Let's know if you also, it might not be just America, it might be anywhere. If you've had to relocate, what has your experience been? How did you say goodbye to your people? How did you get here? What was your airport experience? Did your parents cry for you at the airport? Please let me know so that I can tell my parents that there are people that are crying.
I'm just crying, like you're not crying for me.
But
this has been coming to America.
What's your dose?
I already said my daily dose of EO. Stay consistent. I said I was going to be a consistent hater to your whoop. So what's your daily dose of EO?
What if I say the same thing?
Go ahead, my dear. Go ahead.
But yeah, I think that's exactly what I had in mind. Staying consistent in the sense that it's not, as long as you're consistent is making a step every time. Like it does not have to be, sometimes you don't feel like doing something, but even if it's, I saw one picture that consistency is this small thing here, small thing there, big thing here, small thing there, small thing there. It does not have to be, it has to be big all the time. Sometimes it's just like the little things that you do. So put out the work today. I know this is very similar to what I said last time, but anyway, it is what it is. Yeah, thank you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.